Hey everyone, how's it going? There's still some sunlight outside. Dude, pretzel sucks now. Like, all right, here, let me put this in stream notes. I can't believe this. So I'm already making a from chat / derail section in stream notes. But the plan for today is I was doing a decent amount of setting and I like redid my resume a little bit, quite a bit actually this afternoon. So I was like, okay, I kind of want like a little bit of a break. I went for a walk and I'm like, I kind of want to play a little D4. Maybe that'll get my like energy back up because I'm surprisingly a little sleepy. And then we'll do a little bit of studying and I will try to go to bed by 11, which actually I ended stream at 11 but ended up being up until like midnight last night, and it was bad because I like woke up at 5 and my great sleep streak just ended. But yeah, so let me show this. Pretzel has gotten bad. So like I really liked Pretzel because it had like really chill playlists and stuff, and now it's just like I don't even know what to make out of this. So like, one, look at this song, look at the waveform, there's like nothing going on in terms of like complexity. It's just freaking loud like the entire time, and I picked the synth wave channel thinking it would be a little bit like kind of chill, and so far it really hasn't. And I guess the thing I don't like is like these top played stations, most of these used to be in the free tier, and now it's like lo-fi locked, chill EDM locked, surprise me, I don't want that. Metal I like, but not in the background of, stream, especially if we're studying. I'm not Metal and Coffee. I can't get away with that. Metal and Coffee is a great stream, by the way. Happy EDM locked, synthwave open, chill locked, VHS locked, EDM locked, chiptune locked. Upbeat dance again doesn't match the vibe we're trying to go for with these like co-working study streams. Lounge locked, chill pop locked, industrial locked, classic locked, main character locked, funk is open. Honestly, that'd be pretty cool, but I'm not sure if that would go with the vibe of study stream. And then hype beat bass is also locked. So it's just like these top played stations is what that leaves like what, 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 named stations. And like, what am I supposed to do? Like, most of these used to be open, and now it's just like, okay. And even these game playlists are locked. Like, I don't even know how many. And Chill Hot Music, this label changed, so they're like not even chill anymore. I'm like, okay, let's look at stations. Is there anything that's actually open? Jazz, okay. Techno, trance, yacht rocked. What the hell is yacht rock? There's only 31 tracks. It's only 90. It's an hour and a half. My streams are longer than that. Like, I don't know. I think maybe, I'm not sure what to do. Like, how much does it cost to get like an upgrade in Pretzel? And like, is it worth it? $6 a month stream save catalog. This is really upsetting. I don't know. I don't want to pay for this right now. But I mean, it makes sense, but it's also like, okay, there's like almost no content in the free tier. So it's just like, imagine if you started streaming now and you're trying to use Pretzel, and it's just like, what am I supposed to base this like subscription thing off of? Like, I can do a free trial, but it's like, how much stuff's actually in here that I'll like? So yeah. Anyway, so let's go. My hair is tangled. Let's go straight into D4 because I am addicted. So let's play a little bit, and then maybe we'll play for like just one Helltide. One Helltide, maybe one boss, and then we'll see what happens. And well, one Helltide, one boss. We'll cut it off after that, and then we'll go back into studying. Slash, I need to learn how to change my category off of D4. So yeah. All right, let's switch in. I played a little bit today. I'm so addicted. I played a little bit today. Yeah, I hit 100. I played a little bit today, like when I got back from the gym and was like having coffee. So I was like checking my email, and then I was like, let me do a little bit of D4. And I got like, oh wait, no, that was last night. Though I did play a little bit of D4 this morning. Last night after stream, I played a little bit, and oh, there's a Legion event in 1 minute. Is that it? The world boss is in 11 minutes. Let's do the world boss. We can skip the. How long is Helltide gonna be here? 35 minutes. Hey, perfect. Okay, cool. Yeah, so last night I played, and then I got one treasure goblin, and the goblin gave me a greater treasure bag or something, and it gave me 3 uniques, and I was like, what the hell? Super lucky. I just realized that the sound is on my speakers. Okay, let me fix this. I'm like, why does it sound so like muddled, like it, and it's not directly in my headphones? All right, I can't skip. Okay, options, sound, wanna headphones. Okay. Okay, I think you can hear it now. And then I'm gonna turn down Pretzel because it's not good. Okay, let's... Wait, why am I fighting these dudes? It's not a Helltide. Let's go straight to the world boss. What am I doing? I guess I'll keep my eyes open for a treasure goblin. Or a loot goblin. That's pretty much the only thing I'm really go looking for. Yeah, how are you doing? Wait, 9 minutes? I can mess around a little bit outside. 9 minutes is kind of a long time. Let's try to find a treasure goblin somewhere. you, enemy. Pulling me out of that fog actually kind of helpful. Why are they spawning like it's a hell tide? Hey, a chest. Not good. Okay, well, just pick it up anyway and be ready to toss it. So I am playing, what is this called? Pulverized Werebear build. And I have the meta chest armor, so that's cool. Artillery Shrine, that one. I'm trying to get some of the other items and fixes. But, you know, the process is slow, and most of the time I just play this with my friends. So it's more about chilling than trying to min-max the game. All right. Let me make sure I'm tracking this. Begins in 6 minutes. Okay, cool. I'm really just looking for a loot goblin, hoping one will pop up soon. Reed Shrine. Let's do that. Ooh, that's pretty. How much time do I got? 5 minutes. Okay. Some side quests in here?
Listen, that's my boss, Rakan. He showed me this. You don't need to be no sorcerer to do it. The magic is something about how the ascent of sanctuary, that's what. Smugglers' caravans used to come up this way.
This isn't it. This isn't it.
Okay, I think now I'm out of time.
This isn't it. This isn't it.
I gotta get back to that world boss now. Ooh, chest. Take it. Ba-ba-da. I don't know how many other people are. You're playing D4. What classes are you playing? What builds are you using? Really curious. And then how do you feel about the new expansion that's coming? I'm kind of excited to see the Spiritborn class, that like totally new class. Really curious about it because like my feeling was like initially when I saw the announcement I was like, isn't this just a druid? But I kind of wonder if like right now it kind of feels like the meta druid builds are like more like tanks. And I feel like even Barbarian is also a tank. So I know there's like, I think I was confused like, oh, how come Paladin isn't coming to the game? And I thought about it and I was like, would that just add another tank to the game? Because I don't know, that feels maybe not different enough. And I kind of wonder if maybe the Spiritborn will be like, Druid right now feels like a little bit of a cross between like sorcerer or sorcerer and barbarian, because like you can, even my build you can turn into a ranged character, although it's not like casting sorcerer spells and stuff. You can, I guess you can get a different build for that even in druid. But I kind of wonder if they could do like a cross between like if Spiritborn will turn into a little bit of a cross between like sorcerer and rogue. I feel like that'd be pretty cool. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just spitballing. I've only ever played druid. One of my friends plays sorcerer, and my brother plays barbarian. But I kind of am curious at like more glass cannon-y builds and what that'd be like to try. So yeah. I'm like, I really like the new season. It's better than I expected it to be. All right, I picked up a bunch of garbage. I don't even remember picking this up. So I'll just preemptively mark junk, 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 junk. Got like a minute, and then this world boss is probably gonna take like 2 minutes. Not even, probably like 30 seconds. Like, look how many lowest level person's 78. And like, I'm gonna guess that these hundos are much more built out than mine. Let's see, I think, what was I gonna do? I need to do Skaz Glen and Dry Steps and get some renown and get my last like 8 Paragon points. And then my build will be kind of complete. It'll just be gear hunting at that point. And I guess like getting better. Alright, 10 seconds. Okay, cool. Cool. Alright, yep, super fast. Also super fast. Sweet!
I appreciate that.
Thanks.
Man, that loot was not good. What do I... Oh, there we go. I was like, where's my legendary? Alright. Mark all the rares. They're automatically gonna get junked. Ooh, that's a good one. That should get transferred or harvested. Same with that one. Mostly this one I want to harvest for the legendary aspect. It's almost max, so that's really good. And get rid of this one because I have the meta unique. And I have off meta boots, so let's get rid of that one too. What is this thing? That one's okay. Miss having the damage over time because it's a component of my skill, but or build, but having the extra overpower damage, that's pretty good. Maybe we'll save that one. I have a bunch of like two-handed weapons I'm trying to like go through. See if I can use them. All right, let's do some Helltide, and then we'll ride out the Helltide and then go back to doing some code. Yeah. And then I have to look up how to change categories. All right. Where are we going in this Helltide? What do we need to do here? Harvest the Venus motes. Oh, okay. So this is a mix. So, okay. And let me transfer or harvest stuff I don't need. Where's the blacksmith? Armor vendor, blacksmith. There we go. All junk. Cool. Cool. And also, maybe I'll just put the favorited items in my stash because I don't want to make a mistake and transfer or what's it called? Delete a unique. I did that on accident last week when I was playing with my friends and my brother. I was just like, oh fuck, I'm an idiot. Oh, let me get these side quests actually. Because I think this is dry steps.
I pray for kith and kin, for those lost to the crag song. Dark spirits live in these lands. They call out, luring those who pause to listen into eternal slumber.
I'm conflicted. I really want to listen to the voice acting and hear more about the story, but we got Helltide.
They walk the crags now, fleshless and
Look at this river of blood.
If you travel by that road, would you collect any mementos that...
All right, 21 minutes. Oh, I was out of spirit. Okay. Oh, I wish the dog would harvest Venus motes. Cool. How many am I at? I need 3 more. That would be that. Ooh. Cool. All right, let's go summon the stupid thing. Although I guess I need more. All right, let's do it. I have this thing that like these like blood boil things is a legendary aspect I have. Like if you overpower anything, it makes these blood boils pop up and they do like 10,000 damage, I think. Pretty cool skill, especially when there's a whole stack of them and I can just walk. I can just walk through them. Like in narrow hallways especially, it does like a lot of damage. I kind of miss having, I used to have a skill that would like make landslide. I used to have like a trample slide build and I really liked that one. But I think it doesn't do as much damage as this one. See what I mean? All right. That up. Kill those dudes, because they just keep respawning. That's a lot of legendaries in one spot. Sweet.
I'm out of spirit.
Yeah, and I know D4 got a lot of hate in the beginning, especially, or it got a lot of hate, especially in the beginning for this like always on semi-MMORPG sort of gameplay. I kind of like it, because especially with Helltide, it can make things really chaotic, because that mechanic of Helltide where like you anger hell with the more kills you make. Like if there's a few people, oh, dang it. If there's a few people and they're all elevated hatred, it adds up a lot in terms of like how many enemies can spawn on the screen. And sometimes you just get surprised with a freaking like Hellborn. Oh god. Oh, where did he go?
I'm not ready yet. I must wait a moment.
Alright, so I'm getting like real quiet. This is maybe a lot more focus than I thought I would need. These Hellborns are so strong. Come on, we've almost got him. No legendaries, only rares. Brutal. Oh my god, I forgot what these blood maidens are like. Wait, did we kill? No, it's not dead. Oh. Oh, it is dead? Holy crap. Okay. Oh, man. Okay. Another Hellborn. Sweet. Okay. Oh, I almost died. Sweet. All right, where's... Okay, one, I need to go back to the Tree of Whispers. I think I messed up and I shouldn't have killed... I think I killed a Hellborn and then burned the Grim Favor, but it's fine. It's fine. All right.
It is done.
And pop me up and surrounded by spawns, of course.
I'm low on spirit.
We're gonna make our way over to the orange chest. Hopefully I'll have enough by then. Enough of the aberrant cinders. Is it a greed shrine? It is a greed shrine. Okay.
I'm not ready yet.
Forgot to heal my, or repair my shit after I died. Alright, let's see if I can help with that accursed ritual. Oh, there's the greed shrine. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god. Holy crap, okay. Hey, got it. Man, those things are so hard. Okay, cool. I don't want to do another one of those right now. And I should, yeah, I definitely have enough to go cash in on a... Alright, there's like 5 minutes for me to get to that. Give me that chest. Sweet. Okay, cool. Alright, let's get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. The other enemies. Okay, cool. Alright. Defeat this champion. I got 50 seconds. Easy. Easy peasy. Alright. Got 2 minutes to find one more chest that I can spend all this shit on. Gift of weaponry. There we go. Didn't have enough? Okay. I need 11 more. This might do it.
I must wait a moment.
Cool. Oh.
I'm out of space.
Okay. Alright. You gotta be kidding me. Okay. I cannot beat a Hellborn by myself. There's two of them?
I cannot carry anymore.
I'm definitely running away. 40 seconds. Oh no. I've made a mistake. Run, 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 run. Ooh, that was close. Almost got me. Alright, let's head back to town. Yeah, let's head back to town. I do not have item space, so hopefully those all show up in the town. Alright, then that was a fun little break before going back into doing some coding. Yeah. Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, I was like really in the zone. All right. I didn't have time to mark these as junk. Okay. I think I have that ability imprinted. Let's see if it will, if this is an upgrade. If it's an upgrade, I might just harvest this. Less willpower, more damage, and also... Oh, I don't like that crowd-controlled enemies one. Let's see. It's pretty good. Jeez. Kyle, how are you doing today? You definitely got me again. That 90% overpower. Let's save that one. We'll take a look at it later. Maybe mark that as trash. Trash. Cleaning a little bit. Nice, nice. I'm doing okay. Pretty kind of a busy day today. Like I played a little Diablo before when I was having my morning coffee and also checking my email. And now I'm like super addicted into it. So that's why we're playing before we're gonna go study. And then I kind of did like I would say like a decent amount of work. I was like reviewing things to practice for interviews, and then what else? I redid my resume. So there's a lot more just space now because I like really tried to condense things down, or not condense, but like make things more concise. And it just feels a lot more airy, and gave me the ability to like spread out some of my skills section. So now it's just like, it just feels a little bit more like there's like breathing room on the paper. I don't know if that's going to be any better, but you know, I have to keep changing it. I've been using the same resume for a few months now. It's gotten me a couple interviews, but I wonder if like maybe if I try something, I can increase my luck a little bit. Yeah. Also, I was doing some cleaning. Do you know this, like, it's not Barkeeper's Friend. There's this like spray. It's like a degreaser. My stove looked disgusting. So I sprayed it on, and you can like leave it on overnight. I sprayed it on last night, and then I like took wet paper towels and tried to mop it up this morning, or sorry, this afternoon, and it didn't get everything, and it was just like, it was gross. So hopefully like by tomorrow or something, I'll wipe it up again and it'll be like way cleaner. It was like, I didn't notice how bad it got. So yeah, definitely though, like I didn't expect it to take so long to clean, because I was hoping to like move on to different sections of my place and clean up something else. Like one big one I have is like, I want to clean up, not clean up, but just like reorganize a bunch of my photo stuff, because it's like everywhere. And the thing that made me really notice it was like, I have multiple boxes of GoPro accessories, which is like insane. And some of them are just like, you know, I got them as like kits, and I just have a lot of them, and it's just like, oh man, I just want them all in one spot, and I can actually have like accurate inventory of all the shit I have. The life on hit is kind of nice, and it's already double socketed. Okay, let's take a look at that later.
My burden is too great.
Why do I have so much exquisite blood? What a weird thing to say. Really take a hit to that maximum life. I don't think this is any better. I'll trash that one. Life per second's kind of... Oh, it's not as good as mine. Okay. And I don't know if I really care about getting that healing received. I'll take a look later. Slightly more maximal life. Don't really need the fire resistance. Resource cost reduction. And then a bad roll on that aspect, although I am using said aspect. Although, yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. If there's a bad roll, I can just overwrite it. But I don't need that. Okay, cool. All right, I promised only one Helltide, and then I would go back into coding, and that is exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put all this stuff away, and then definitely need to clean my inventory. And then we're gonna stop playing Diablo for tonight. Oh, let's have a little bit of water, and then figure out how to change my category. Let's see, change category, Twitch. Need to update the game information on my Twitch dashboard. There's no command for it. The stream information settings. You should wait. This is a bot. Creator dashboard, stream manager, edit stream info, quick actions option. Enter the stream title. Can I just do it in OBS? Software and game dev. Did that change it? I guess I can do it through the app too. And my battery is almost out on my phone. Okay. Let me see. What was I about to do? Wow, I really just like ADHD'd that. Okay. Stream, edit stream info. Okay, cool. Yeah, it looks like I'm in software and game dev. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, cool. What was I gonna do? Okay, we are gonna switch gears. Wow, actually, that's perfect timing. We're about to go to the ad break. So, okay, so I'll walk through what I'm thinking of doing next. I'm gonna jump back into doing what's it called? Helltides. No, we're gonna go back into building GPT. And maybe we'll talk a little bit of the stuff I was reading and trying to implement today. But yeah, so basically, let me see. Drugs. So we did the D4, check. We're going to go back into building GPT from scratch. And then one of the things I wanted to try is trying to figure out how to set up a vector database. I was messing around with stuff earlier. I used the BGE M3 model to generate some embeddings. It was so fast. I think it only took a second to generate 50 embeddings, and it did dense, sparse, and the Colbert compatible embeddings. And now I'm so what do I do with these? Because I can put them into a pandas series and then I can get them in individual columns, but I'm kind of what exactly needs to go up? How, when I do a query, what data structure is expected? Because I've tried to Google, read about how do I set up a vector database, and I feel like there's a lot of here's how you'd use a vector database and why you want one. And I'm that's not what I'm asking. I have do I give you a pandas data frame? Do I give you a Parquet file? How do I upload these things? Or I guess, do I just use the API for PyVespa or Pinecone or something? I'm what do you want from me? Let me see. Yeah, well, I think I didn't want to, my father smoked a lot and he's been smoking for years. He tried to quit, he tried what is that from? Don't do heroin, kids. Don't do heroin. Dr. Cat. Oh my God, I haven't seen... I was too young for Dr. Katz, and then I haven't seen it after turning into an adult. I did not get it when I was a kid, and I think kind of home movies, I watched that a little bit in high school, and I was kind of lost, and then I watched it as an adult in grad school, and I was just dude, Home Movies is like one of the funniest fucking shows I've ever seen. And it's so weird. And that definitely made me go like, I should go back and watch Dr. Katz. You looked it up a while back for the first time since you're a kid. I think when I was a kid, I couldn't get over the like squiggly animation and just like, I was like, it's too ugly looking. But then like Home Movies also had it, and I was like, I don't know how I like how it looks. And then I watched it again. I was like, this is so funny. Same with the like, what is the one with the monster who like calls himself Barnaby Jones? That show is really funny. It's like X Force or something. Yeah. Okay. So our ad break should start in like just a second, I think. So perfect time. I'm gonna go to break screen. I'll stretch and get some steps in, maybe refresh my water or something. So yeah, I'll be back in like maybe 5 minutes. All right, I'll see you soon. I'll keep looking at chat while I'm like walking, I guess. Hey, back. How was your break? What did you do? Ah, don't rub my eyes. Just pick out the eyelash. Don't rub my eyes. Just pick out the eyelash. I walked around a little bit in my place and tried to tidy up some stuff. Went to the bathroom and also tried to squeeze in a tiny bit of Pokemon Go on one of my accounts, which is really weird. It's having this bug where I don't know if y'all play it, but the like rocket balloons is a feature. Like there's a hot air balloon that will show up. You can battle a rocket. It's supposed to show up like every 6 hours. One of my accounts, it just doesn't do that sometimes. It's really weird. So now my accounts are out of sync with each other, and it drives me a little bit nuts. And like it first got out of sync because one of them like lost data connection, and it just didn't give me an item that it was supposed to give me. So then it got out of sync. And the next time it got further out of sync was like, oh, well, the balloon just didn't show up for one of the accounts. So then I was like, well, I'm not going to not battle a rocket. So yeah. Okay, so we are going to go into this class now. Let's see, where is our notebook? We are here, and notice our not particular. Wait, why is this? It's slightly different. I mean, we're probably using a different version of whatever. It's fine.
Eventually, the history will be used, and so that's why we want to predicted K. So the only reason I'm writing it in this way is because right now this is a bigram model, but I'd like to keep this function fixed, and I'd like it to work later when our characters actually basically look further in the history. And so right now the history is not used, so this looks silly, but eventually the history will be used, and so that's why we want to do it this way. So just a quick comment on that. So now we see that this is random, so let's train the model so it becomes a bit less random. Okay, let's now train the model. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a PyTorch optimization object. So here we are using the optimizer Adam.
Good old Adam.
W. Now, in the Make More series, we've only ever used stochastic gradient descent, the simplest possible optimizer, which you can get using the SGD instead. But I want to use Atom, which is a much more advanced and popular optimizer, and it works extremely well. For typical good setting for the learning rate is roughly 3e-4, but for very, very small networks, like the case here, you can get away with much, much higher learning rates, 1e-3 or even higher probably. But let me create the optimizer object, which will basically take the gradients and update the parameters using the gradients. And then here, our batch size up above was only 4, so let me actually use something bigger, let's say 32. And then for some number of steps, we are sampling a new batch of data, we're evaluating the loss, we're zeroing out all the gradients from the previous step, getting the gradients for all the parameters, and then using those gradients to update our parameters. So typical training loop, as we saw in the Make More series.
Probably have this written somewhere else and I don't have to retype it. Maybe I don't. It does look like I don't. Okay. I could have sworn by the way he copy pasted. It's like, oh, we probably did this already. All right, let's just type it out. Let's get batch train evaluate the loss. Logits loss equals m x b yb. Optimizer dot zero grad sets to none equals true. Loss dot backward. Optimizer dot step print loss dot item.
So let me now run this for, say, 100 iterations, and let's see what kind of losses we're going to get. So we started around 4.7, and now we're getting down to like 4.6, 4.5, etc. So the optimization is definitely happening, but let's sort of try to increase the number of iterations and only print at the end, because we probably want to train for longer. Okay, so we're down to 3.6 roughly.
I don't think we need to put this outside of the for loop. Yeah. And we don't need to print this 3,000 times or 1,000 times.
Roughly down to 3. This is the most janky optimization. Okay, it's working. Let's just do 10,000. And then from here, we want to copy this. And hopefully, we're going to get something reasonable. And of course, it's not going to be Shakespeare from a bigram model, but at least we see that the loss is improving. And hopefully we're expecting something a bit more reasonable. Okay, so we're down at about 2.5-ish. Let's see what we get. Okay, well, dramatic improvement certainly on what we had here. So let me just increase the number of tokens. Okay, so we see that we're starting to get something at least like reasonable-ish. Certainly not Shakespeare, but the model is making progress. So that is the simplest possible
It
model.
convincingly looks like something someone would text someone after having a few too many beers.
I'd like to do is, obviously this is a very simple model because the tokens are not talking to each other. So given the previous context of whatever was generated, we're only looking at the very last character to make the predictions about what comes next. So now these tokens have to start talking to each other and figuring out what is in the context so that they can make better predictions for what comes next. And this is how we're going to kick off the transformer. Okay, so next, I took the code that we developed in this Jupyter notebook and I converted it to be a script. And I'm doing this because I just want to simplify our intermediate work, which is just the final product that we have at this point. So in the top here, I put all the parameters that we defined. I introduced a few, and I'm going to speak to that in a little bit. Otherwise, a lot of this should be recognizable. Reproducibility, read data, get the encoder and the decoder, create the train and test splits, use the kind of like data loader that gets a batch of the inputs and targets. This is new, and I'll talk about it in a second. Now this is the bigram language model that we developed, and it can forward and give us a logits and loss, and it can generate. And then here, we are creating the optimizer, and this is the training loop. So everything here should look pretty familiar. Now, some of the small things that I added. Number one, I added the ability to run on a GPU if you have it. So if you have a GPU, then this will use CUDA instead of just CPU, and everything will be a lot more faster. Now, when device becomes CUDA, then we need to make sure that when we load the data, we move it to device. When we create the model, we want to move the model parameters to device. So as an example, here we have the NN embedding table, and it's got a .weight inside it, which stores the sort of lookup table. So that would be moved to the GPU, so that all the calculations here happen on the GPU, and they can be a lot faster. And then finally here, when I'm creating the context that feeds into generate, I have to make sure that I create it on the device. Number two, what I introduced is the fact that here in the training loop, here I was just printing the loss.item inside the training loop. But this is a very noisy measurement of the current loss because every batch will be more or less lucky. And so what I want to do usually is I have an estimate loss function, and the estimate loss basically then goes up here, and it averages up the loss over multiple batches. So in particular, we're going to iterate eval iter times, and we're going to basically get our loss, and then we're going to get the average loss for both splits. And so this will be a lot less noisy. So here, when we call the estimate loss, we're going to report the pretty accurate train and validation loss. Now, when we come back up, you'll notice a few things here. I'm setting the model to evaluation phase, and down here, I'm resetting it back to training phase. Now, right now for our model as is, this doesn't actually do anything, because the only thing inside this model is this nn.embedding, and this network would behave the same in both evaluation mode and training mode. We have no dropout layers, we have no batch norm layers, etc. But it is a good practice to think through what mode your neural network is in, because some layers will have different behavior at inference time or training time. And there's also this context manager, torch.nograd, and this is just telling PyTorch that everything that happens inside this function, we will not call .backward on. And so PyTorch can be a lot more efficient with its memory use because it doesn't have to store all the intermediate variables because we're never going to call backward. And so it can be a lot more memory efficient in that way. So also a good practice to tell PyTorch when we don't intend to do backpropagation. So right now, this script is about 120 lines of code, and that's kind of our starter code. I'm calling it bigram.py, and I'm going to release it later. Now, running this script gives us output in the terminal, and it looks something like this. It basically, as I ran this code, it was giving me the train loss and val loss, and we see that we convert to somewhere around 2.5 with the PyGram model. And then here's the sample that we produced at the end. And so we have everything packaged up in a script, and we're in a good position now to iterate on this. Okay, so we are almost ready to start writing our very first self-attention block for processing these tokens.
I'm kind of wondering, like, should I pause frame and like refactor so it's in a script, or just clone it from the repo? But I wonder if, like, either way it feels annoying. So I may just like try to zoom in and focus on like what he's actually saying.
Now, before we actually get there, I want to get you used to a mathematical trick that is used in the self-attention inside a transformer, and is really just like at the heart of an efficient.
That is really funny. Pretzel Rocks got auto-modded. Because the title of this song is, does he look like a bitch? Like the line from Pulp Fiction. I guess I'll allow it because it's a song title and it's Pretzel. You're on thin ice there, Pretzel.
Implementation of self-attention. And so I want to work with this toy example to just get you used to this operation, and then it's going to make it much more clear once we actually get to it in the script again. So let's create a B by T by C, where B, T, and C are just 4, 8, and 2 in this toy example. And these are basically channels, and we have batches, and we have the time component, and we have some information at each point in the sequence, so C. Now, what we would like to do is we would like these tokens, so we have up to 8 tokens here in the batch.
Let me pause and I'll mark out, like, Andre paused the video and refactored this entire notebook into a script file that is in the repo called diagram.py. Consider the following. Example. Torch.manual seed 157, of course. B, T, C. Scroll down so we can actually see what we're typing. Equals 4, 8, and 2. Batch time channels. Let's see, what was torch.rand n B T C except shape.
Batch. And these 8 tokens are currently not talking to each other, and we would like them to talk to each other. We'd like to couple them. And in particular, we want to couple them in a very specific way. So the token, for example, at the 5th location, it should not communicate with tokens in the 6th, 7th, and 8th location, because those are future tokens in the sequence. The token on the 5th location should only talk to the one in the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. So information only flows from previous context to the current time step. And we cannot get any information from the future because we are about to try to predict the future. So what is the easiest way for tokens to communicate? Okay, the easiest way I would say is, okay, if we're a 5th token and I'd like to communicate with my past, the simplest way we can do that is to just do an average of all the preceding elements. So for example, if I'm the 5th token, I would like to take the channels that make up that are information at my step, but then also the channels from the 4th step, 3rd step, 2nd step, and the 1st step. I'd like to average those up, and then that would become sort of like a feature vector that summarizes me in the context of my history. Now, of course, just doing a sum, or like an average, is an extremely weak form of interaction. Like, this communication is extremely lossy. We've lost a ton of information about the spatial arrangements of all those tokens. But that's okay for now. We'll see how we can bring that information back later. For now, what we'd like to do is, for every single batch element independently, for every teeth token in that sequence, we'd like to now calculate the average of all the vectors in all the previous tokens and also at this token. So let's write that out. I have a small snippet here, and instead of just fumbling around, let me just copy paste it and talk to it. So in other words, we're going to create X and BOW.
Ooh, excuse me. We want X BT mean I less than equal to T X B I. Expo equals torch dot zeros BTC be in range. T in range, capital T. Xprev equals. Oh, expo is X bag of words. B colon T plus 1. It's a tuple of T and C, and expo BT was torch dot mean xprev 0.
Is short for bag of words, because bag of words is kind of like a term that people use when you are just averaging up things. So it's just a bag of words. Basically, there's a word stored on every one of these 8 locations, and we're doing a bag of words, so just averaging. So in the beginning, we're going to say that it's just initialized at 0. And
Not gonna lie, I think the like sudden lack of sleep is affecting me more than I thought. My hips are sore and I'm actually quite tired. So let's see how far we can get. And I might just have to call a little bit early. I was hoping to go until like 10:30, 11, but I'm like, man, I actually don't know if I have the energy to do that. But we'll see.
Becomes of shape, how many T elements there were in the past, and then of course C, so all the 2-dimensional information from these little tokens. So that's the previous sort of chunk of tokens from my current sequence. And then I'm just doing the average, or the mean, over the 0th dimension. So I'm averaging out the time here. And I'm just going to get a little C 1-dimensional vector, which I'm going to store in X bag of words. So I can run this, and this is not going to be very informative because, let's see, so this is X of 0, so this is the 0th batch element. And then expo at 0, now, you see how at the first location here, you see that the 2 are equal, and that's because it's we're just doing an average of this 1 token. But here, this one is now an average of these 2, and now this one is an average of these 3, and so on. So, and this last one is the average of all of these elements. So vertical average, just averaging up all the tokens, now gives this outcome here. So this is all well and good, but this is very inefficient. Now the trick is that we can be very, very efficient about doing this using matrix multiplication. So that's the mathematical trick. And let me show you what I mean. Let's work with a toy example here. Let me run it and I'll explain. I have a simple matrix here that is a 3x3 of all ones, a matrix B of just random numbers, and it's a 3x2, and a matrix C, which will be 3x3 multiplied 3x2, which will give out a 3x2. So here we're just using matrix multiplication. So A multiplied B gives us C. Okay, so how are these numbers in C
I'm like
achieved, right?
shedding all my
This
loose
number in the
ends,
top
or
left
sorry, split
is
ends in
the
my
first
hair.
row of A dot product with the first column of B. And since all the row of A right now is all just ones, then the dot product here with this column of B is just going to do a sum of this column. So 2 plus 6 plus 6 is 14. The element here in the output of C is also the first column here, the first row of A, multiplied now with the second column of B. So 7 plus 4 plus 5 is 16. Now you see that there's repeating elements here. So this 14 again is because this row is again all ones, and it's multiplying the first column of B. So we get 14. And this one is, and so on. So this last number here is the last row, dot product, last column. Now the trick here is the following. This is just a boring number of, this is just a boring array of all ones, but Torch has this function called trill, which is short for a triangular, something like that. And you can wrap it in torch.once, and it will just return the lower triangular portion of this. Okay. So now it will basically zero out these guys here. So we just get the lower triangular part. Well, what happens if we do that? So now we'll have A like this and B like this. And now what are we getting here in C? Well, what is this number? Well, this is the first row times the first column. And because this is zeros, these elements here are now ignored, so we just get a 2. And then this number here is the first row times the second column. And because these are zeros, they get ignored, and it's just
Man,
7.
I was so spoiled
Plus 7
sleeping
multiplied
7
by 1.
hours for like
But look what happened here.
3
Because this is
days,
1
and
then
now
zeros,
maybe not
what
even
ended up
3
happening
days,
was
and
we're
now it's just
flattening out
like,
this row of B, and that's what we got.
oh,
Now
Monday
here,
night, Tuesday
we
night.
have 110.
I
here,
slept 7 hours,
110
maybe
dot product
3.
with these two columns
Sunday
will now give
night?
us 2 plus
No,
6, which is
I
8,
definitely
and
didn't.
7 plus 4, which is 11.
2 nights in a row, I
And
slept
because
7
this is
hours.
111,
Like,
we
wow,
end
it
up
was
with
great.
The addition of all of them.
Didn't
And so
keep it
basically,
going.
depending on how many ones and zeros we have here, we are basically doing a sum currently of the variable number of these rows, and that gets deposited into C. So currently we're doing sums because these are ones, but we can also do average, right? And you can start to see how we could do average of the rows of B sort of in incremental fashion. Because we don't have to, we can basically normalize these rows so that they sum to 1, and then we're going to get an average. So if we took A, and then we did A equals A divide, torch.sum in the of A in the 1th dimension, and then let's keep them as true. So therefore the broadcasting will work out. So if I rerun this, you see now that these rows now sum to 1. So this row is 1, this row is 0.5, is 0, and here we get 1/3. And now when we do A multiply B, what are we getting? Here we are just getting the first row. Here now we are getting the average of the first 2 rows. Okay, so 2 and 6 average is 4, and 4 and 7 average is 5.5. And on the bottom here, we are now getting the average of these 3 rows. So the average of all of elements of B are now deposited here. And so you can see that by manipulating these elements of this multiplying matrix, and then multiplying it with any given matrix, we can do these averages in this incremental fashion, because we just get, and we can manipulate that based on the elements of A. Okay, so that's very convenient. So let's swing back up here and see how we can vectorize this and make it much more efficient using what we've learned. So in particular, we are going to produce an array A, but here I'm going to call it way, short for weights. But this is our A. And this is how much of every row we want to average up. And it's going to be an average because you can see that these rows sum to 1. So this is our A. And then our B in this example, of course, is X. So what's going to happen here now is that we...
Alright, this is stuff I need to write down, so... Torch... Trill... Torch... .ones... T... Equals... weights... divided by weights dot sum... 1... keep them... It's true...
we are going to have an expo 2. And this expo 2 is going to be way multiplying Rx. So let's think this through. Way is T by T, and this is matrix multiplying in PyTorch a B by T by C. And it's giving us what shape. So PyTorch will come here and it will see that these shapes are not the same. So it will create a batch dimension here. And this is a batched matrix multiply. And so it will apply this matrix multiplication in all the batch elements in parallel and individually. And then for each batch element, there will be a T by T multiplying T by C, exactly as we had below. So this will now create B by T by C, and expo 2 will now become identical to expo. So we can see that torch.allClose of expo and expo 2 should be true. Now, so this kind of like convinces us that these are in fact the same.
Stand.
So expo and expo 2, if I just print them, okay, we're not going to be able to, okay, we're not going to be able to just stare it down, but, well, let me try expo basically just at the 0th element and expo 2 at the 0th element. So just the first batch, and we should see that this and that should be identical, which they are, right? So what happened here? The trick is we were able to use batched matrix multiply to do this aggregation, really, and it's a weighted aggregation. And the weights are specified in this T by T array. And we're basically doing weighted sums. And these weighted sums are according to the weights inside here, that take on sort of this triangular form. And so that means that a token at the T dimension will only get information from the tokens preceding it. So that's exactly what we want. And finally, I would like to rewrite it in one more way. And we're going to see why that's useful. So this is the 3rd version, and it's also identical.
Trill equals torch dot trill. Torch dot ones. Torch dot zeros.
To the first and second. But let me talk through it. It uses softmax. So trill here is this matrix, lower triangular ones. Way begins as all 0. Okay, so if I just print way in the beginning, it's all 0. Then I use masked fill. So what this is doing is way.masked fill, it's all zeros, and I'm saying for all the elements where trill is equals 0, make them be negative infinity.
Trying to see why this, like, I feel like I was expecting these to take the same argument. This is taking in a tuple, but this is just taking 2 values. So I'm like, is that why? I was like, did I make a typo? And it seems like I did not. So I'm trying to figure out like why these are different from each other. I wonder if it's because, did I run this one? I did. Those are also not all close. Okay, so let's see, what am I doing wrong? Write this out. Huh. I wonder why those are not all close.
So trill here is this matrix, lower triangular ones. Way begins as all 0. Okay, so if I just print way in the beginning, it's all 0. Then I used masked fill. So what this is doing is way.masked fill, it's all zeros, and I'm saying for all the elements where trill is equal to 0, make them be negative infinity. So all the elements where trill is 0 will become negative infinity now. So this is what we get. And then the final line here is softmax. So if I take a softmax along every single, so dim is -1, so along every single row, if I do a softmax, what is that going to do? Well, softmax is also like a normalization operation, right? And so spoiler alert, you get the exact same matrix. Let me bring back the softmax. And recall that in softmax, we're going to exponentiate every single one of these, and then we're going to divide by the sum. And so if we exponentiate every single element here, we're going to get a 1. And here we're going to get basically 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 everywhere else. And then when we normalize, we just get 1. Here we're going to get 1, 1, and then zeros. And then softmax will, again, divide, and this will give us 0.5, 0.5, and so on. And so this is also the same way to produce this mask. Now, the reason that this is a bit more interesting, and the reason we're going to end up using it in self-attention, is that these weights here begin with 0. And you can think of this as like an interaction strength, or like an affinity. So basically, it's telling us how much of each token from the past do we want to aggregate and average up. And then this line is saying tokens from the past cannot communicate. By setting them to negative infinity, we're saying that we will not aggregate anything from those tokens. And so basically, this then goes through softmax and through the weighted, and this is the aggregation through matrix multiplication. And so what this is now is, you can think of these as, these zeros are currently just set by us to be 0, but a quick preview is that these affinities between the tokens are not going to be just constant at 0, they're going to be data dependent. These tokens are going to start looking at each other, and some tokens will find other tokens more or less interesting. And depending on what their values are, they're going to find each other interesting to different amounts, and I'm going to call those affinities, I think. And then here we are saying the future cannot communicate with the past. We're going to clamp them. And then when we normalize and sum, we're going to aggregate sort of their values depending on how interesting they find each other. And so that's the preview for self-attention. And basically, long story short from this entire section is that you can do weighted aggregations of your past elements by using matrix multiplication of a lower triangular fashion. And then the elements here in the lower triangular part are telling you how much of each element fuses into this position. So we're going to use this trick now to develop the self-attention block. So first, let's get some quick preliminaries out of the way. First, the thing I'm kind of bothered by is that you see how we're passing in vocab size into the constructor? There's no need to do that because vocab size is already defined up top as a global variable. So there's no need to pass this stuff around. Next, what I want to do is, I want to create like a level of indirection here, where we don't directly go to the embedding for the logits, but instead we go through this intermediate phase, because we're going to start making that bigger. So let me introduce a new variable, nembed. It's short for number of embedding dimensions. So nembed here will be, say, 32.
I wonder if part of the
That was a
reason why I'm
suggestion from
sleepy is
Temple
because
Bell,
my
by the way.
room is like
It also
way
suggests
warmer
32,
than I
which is
expected
the
it to be.
So this is an embedding table and only 32-dimensional embeddings.
Oh.
So then here, this is not going to give us
Blinds.
logits directly.
Shades,
Instead, this is going to
sorry.
give us token embeddings. That's what I'm going to call it. And then to go from the token embeddings to the logits, we're going to need a linear layer. So self.lm head, let's call it, short for language modeling head, is nlinear from nembed up to vocab size. And then when we swing over here, we're actually going to get the logits by exactly what the copilot says. Now we have to be careful here because this C and this C are not equal. This is nembed C and this is vocab size. So let's just say that nembed is equal to C. And then this just creates one spurious layer of indirection through a linear layer, but this should basically run. So we see that this runs, and this currently looks kind of spurious, but we're going to build on top of this. Now next up, so far we've taken these indices and we've encoded them based on the identity of the tokens inside IDX. The next thing that people very often do is that we're not just encoding the identity of these tokens, but also their position. So we're going to have a second position embedding table here. So self.position embedding table is an embedding of block size by nembed. And so each position from 0 to block size -1 will also get its own embedding vector. And then here, first let me decode b by t from idx.shape. And then here we're also going to have a pos embedding, which is the positional embedding, and this is tortoise range. So this will be
Full
basically just
disclosure, we
integers
may
from
just
0
go to
to
2
-1.
hours and then call it.
And all of those
I
integers
was going to try to go
from
for
0 to -1 embedded
3,
through the table,
but
and
I think
t
I'm
by c.
too tired.
And then here,
I
this
think
gets
I'm going to
renamed
try to
to
actually get
x,
almost
and x
8
will
hours
be
of sleep today,
the
because
addition of the token embeddings with the
I
positional
don't know
embeddings.
why my
And here the
energy just
broadcasting
went
node
down a
will work
lot.
out. So b by t by c plus t by c. This gets right aligned.
Probably
the
got
new
too
dimension
excited
belongs
playing
added,
D4,
and it gets
just like
broadcasted across batch.
all the
So at
fuel
this
pumped
point,
into
X
there, and
holds
I'm
not
like,
just the token
okay,
identities, but the
you got to give me a
positions of
loot
each
dragon,
token
or else I'm not going to wake up.
And this is currently not that useful
Loot
because, of course, we just have a
demon,
simple binary
loot
model. So it doesn't
goblin,
matter if
there
you're
we
in
go.
position, second position, or wherever. It's all translation invariant at this stage. So this information currently wouldn't help. But as we work on the self-attention block, we'll see that this starts to matter. Okay, so now we get to the crux of self-attention. So this is probably the most important part of this video to understand. We're going to implement a small self-attention for a single individual head, as they're called. So we start off with where we were. So all of this code is familiar. So right now, I'm working with an example where I changed the number of channels from 2 to 32. So we have a 4x8 arrangement of tokens, and the information on each token is currently 32-dimensional, but we just are working with random numbers. Now we saw here that the code as we had it before does a simple average of all the past tokens and the current token. So it's just the previous information and current information is just being mixed together in an average. And that's what this code currently achieves. And it does so by creating this lower triangular structure, which allows us to mask out this weight matrix that we create. So we mask it out and then we normalize it. And currently, when
torch.ones t weights equals, oops, yeah, torch.zeros weights equals weights masked fill chill equals 0 float weights f dot soft max weights dim equals -1 out equals weights x dot shape.
We initialize the affinities between all the different sort of tokens or nodes. I'm going to use those terms interchangeably. So when we initialize the affinities between all the different tokens to be 0, then we see that way gives us this structure where every single row has these uniform numbers. And so that's what then in this matrix multiply makes it so that we're doing a simple average. Now, we don't actually want this to be all uniform, because different tokens will find different other tokens more or less interesting, and we want that to be data dependent. So for example, if I'm a vowel, then maybe I'm looking for consonants in my past, and maybe I want to know what those consonants are, and I want that information to flow to me. And so I want to now gather information from the past, but I want to do it in a data dependent way. And this is the problem that self-attention solves. Now, the way self-attention solves this is the following. Every single node, or every single token at each position will emit 2 vectors. It will emit a query, and it will emit a key. Now, the query vector, roughly speaking, is what am I looking for? And the key vector, roughly speaking, is what do I contain? And then the way we get affinity...
Oh my god. Maui, thank you for the raid. I was lurking in your stream, which means I have to close that tab because I will look at it and see myself. How's your stream? I saw you were playing, I don't know what that robot game is. I thought it was the Cook-Up? I forgot what the game you were playing before I went on vacation. But yeah, how's your stream? Let's see, shout out. And then I'll put this in stream notes. We got raided by Mawixi. It was fun, but it got hard. I started stream as a way to try to get myself some energy. Also, Brando Calrissian, thank you for the first time chat, and I guess hi bye. To try to give myself some energy, I did like half an hour of Diablo 4 Helltide, and I think it toasted all of my energy, and it started getting like super hard. Like I think I got almost one shot at some point. But yeah, actually, now that I think about it, so yeah, Raiders, if you've never been in here before, my name is Chrono, or Aaron. I'm a data scientist, and lately I've been working through Andre Karpathy's class on like building Make More and GPT from scratch, so I can maybe get a little bit more familiarity with Torch, and honestly just see how these things work, because they like, you know, like GPT like really kind of upset the world. I don't mean that in like a super negative term, but it's like, you know, people actually started paying to large language models when GPT I guess 3 really came out, and Chat GPT like took over a few years ago, and now we're on what, GPT 4.0, and I don't know necessarily what the differences are, but it's cool to actually see like this was state of the art only like a few years ago, and we've really changed kind of a lot since then. So that's why I'm teaching myself this stuff. And then normally when people raid, Maui knows this. Do you have a name of a dish that you were thinking of eating, Maui? Yeah, normally, if you've also never been in here before, I normally write in Python, and then I also know SQL because I'm a data scientist. Musubi, okay. And I've been working on this recipe recommender. Actually, I was doing stuff off stream. I was building some embeddings with a BG M3 model, and I'm trying to figure out how to actually take those embeddings and turn them into a vector database. If I had energy today, I was going to try to start a class on that, but I am burning out pretty quickly, so I'm pretty tired. Let's see, musubi is, I'm going to say Hawaiian's not in here. Let's just say that's, I don't think I have a Pacific Islander. We're gonna have, maybe we'll say Asian. That's like the closest we got. Let's see, musubi, Asian, no Pacific, Oceanic. Maybe that's the cuisine title. Okay, so we have a California roll salad, simple fried rice, carrot ginger dressing again, gingered spare ribs again, sweet soy grilled short ribs again. Okay, cool. So California roll salad. I don't know if any of these sound interesting to you, Maui or chat, but the metrics I use to judge whether or not whether or not Melian has done a good job are in this block. And lately it's been having kind of a lot of misses. So usually it's because it's like, I don't think these things are all that similar at all, but it is kind of interesting. So sushi rice salad with avocado, cucumber, scallions. This is a California roll unrolled. Ingredient faithfulness, I kind of would say not close. Like musubi is just spam, maybe a little bit of soy sauce, and seaweed and rice. Okay, so actually, you know, we're off on a number of things, but some of the stuff is okay. I would say is ingredient faithfulness is okay. Cooking prep, maybe close. So we'll say close. Cuisine difference is not clear because this is sushi, right? So it's already kind of like already a class of Asian food. Do I like California roll salad? I mean, I would eat it. I would say that's interesting. But I would say that this is okay suggestion because it might be cuisine, because the cuisine might be too close. Oh, Maui, bad news. I forget if you were here before, but I found out, like, easy fried rice. The Filipino restaurant that's, like, very close to me, they actually closed, like, a few months ago. And I had no idea. And partly why I had no idea is because most of the time when I'm there, it's in the morning and they're, like, not open. A couple times I've been there and they've been open for breakfast, and I was like, oh, cool. But I didn't want to like have such a heavy breakfast in the morning, and I usually just get like a bagel sandwich, like a breakfast bagel sandwich, and only on leg day. But I didn't realize that they closed because like someone submitted the store inside like Pokemon Go or Pikmin Bloom. So it like shows up in games and I'm like, oh, cool. So it's good that this is a place now. But then it's not actually in the game, or it's not actually there in real life. Like there's a definite like for rent sign on the door. Ingredient faithfulness for easy fried rice is actually probably okay. Cooking prep is not close because you can, I mean, they threw in looks like ham or something in there. Cuisine difference is not clear. Interesting. No, I mean, fried rice is what you make out of it. I would say bad suggestion because the cuisine might be too close as well. And also it's like, and also not an interesting dish necessarily, unfortunately. But my bias is I've been making fried rice for like decades. Not every day, but it's like, okay, that's like a go-to for like, we have leftover rice, what are we going to do with it? Carrot, ginger dressing. Did you see that quiz you sent? Is it the K-pop or programming languages quiz? That's a good one. Ingredient faithfulness, bad. Cooking prep, not close. Cuisine difference, I would say clear. Interesting. Yes. Still a bad suggestion because the cooking prep and ingredient faithfulness are bad. Really curious to see what's going to be different with this new embedding model. Instead of, I think that's just a TF IDF for the unigrams right now. Let's see. Gingered spare ribs with brown sugar and soy. Should really just pay for the Epicurious subscription. Ingredient faithfulness might be okay. Cooking prep is not close. Cuisine difference, I think, is kind of clear. Interesting, yes. Maybe this is like an okay suggestion because the cooking prep and ingredient faithfulness are... Let me think. How would I define this? Cooking prep is too different. Okay, and then the last one is sweet soy grilled short ribs. Some of these have shown up a few times and they sound delicious. Let me see. Ingredient faithfulness, I might also say okay. Cooking prep, not close. Cuisine difference, I'd say clear. Interesting, yes. Yeah, I'd actually say give the same recommendation. These, like, between these two, these might actually be like, oh, these are kind of the same. You're just swapping out the spare ribs with short ribs. Maybe change up the ginger. So these two by themselves probably have like a very high, like, good suggestion. But then when it's compared to Musubi, it's like, probably not. You gotta prep for sleep. No worries, Maui. Thank you for the raid. I definitely appreciate it. I don't know how long we're gonna keep going. I was thinking, because like my energy is low, I was thinking of trying to go for 2.5, 3 hours, but I'm kind of like, maybe I can only go for 2 hours, and we're rounding up on 2 hours right now. So we'll try to keep going with the class, but we'll be here for at least a couple more minutes. So yeah, thanks again for the raid. And then if you wanted to make any of these, why don't I, here, I'll just, if you want to make ribs, here you go. That's the spare ribs. And then if you want the short ribs, which my Costco had like Wagyu short ribs available this weekend, and I was just like, I really looked at those. I was like, maybe, but they're still kind of expensive, but they looked really good. I have a hard time resisting short ribs. Okay, let me try to find this class again. What? And okay, the real surprise was they had Wagyu, I think it was flank steak, or it might have been skirt steak. And I was kind of like, I have never seen that before. Like, conceptually, it's like, of course this exists, because like that cut is going to be on any cow that is like designated for whatever Wagyu, whatever. And I like really thought about it. But I already had too much food. Like, I bought a Costco chicken and I still haven't even broken it down to turn. I was going to turn it into like carnitas, but with chicken. And like, I was just like, I mean, as tempting as it is, it was still like $11 a pound because it's Wagyu. And I was just like, I think on principle, I don't think I can buy skirt steak at like $11 a pound. Like, cause like, I know it's like $3 a pound, and I don't think it's going to be necessarily that much different. And adding all the extra fat with the Wagyu, I'm like, is that actually going to make it better? The answer is yes, but I don't know if it's like, yeah, I should, you know what? I should have just gotten it next week. If they have it next week, I'll get it. And maybe I'll do like a chimichurri sauce with it, and I'll just grill it. And yeah, that'll be delicious. I love that. I recently made cookies for a friend, and in the process learned brown sugar is just sugar and molasses. Oh yeah. It's like a different amount of molasses is like the darkness of the brown sugar. I think aren't there also grades of molasses? I forget. It's like there's grades of maple syrup. And like I think I really like the dark amber maple syrup because it doesn't just taste like sugar. Even though that's what it is. You never thought about what it was before, so you don't know what you expected. Oh yeah, no worries. I think I only know because like one day I was just like looking, like one of my housemates I think bought molasses and I was looking at it and the bottle was different from the one that someone else bought, and like I was making probably ginger snap cookies. And then I looked into like, oh, what are the differences? I saw something like grades and syrup. Oh, okay, cool. For the greater good, right? right.
Between the keys and the queries. So my query dot products with all the keys of all the other tokens, and that dot product now becomes weight. And so if the key and the query are sort of aligned, they will interact to a very high amount, and then I will get to learn more about that specific token.
I just realized I didn't change the screen over.
So let's implement this now. We're going to implement a single, what's called head of self-attention. So this is just one.
Let's see a single head. Self attention. Is that when you like have OBS open and you look at yourself? Key was linear. C head size. Bias equals false. Query equals the linear. Neural net. C head size. Bias equals false. It was maple syrup. Internet Shaquille. Oh, nice. Has a whole series he's been doing about where he talks about things with groceries that often confuse people. It's pretty educational and in tiny doses. Okay, cool. Tiny. I don't know why that just made me think of like Tiny Dose.
Back in my day,
Tiny
maple
Dose
syrup was
concert,
graded A
like
or B
NPR.
or commercial, and the grade was determined by how dark the syrup was. The problem was people associated the term grade A to mean the best quality, so only maple nerds and know-it-alls would shop for the superior choice at the grocery store, grade B. So 10 years
Grade
ago,
B
they
is the good
changed
stuff.
maple grading.
Wait, they changed the maple grading system 10 years ago and I didn't even notice? Fuck. Let's see. Stream Kyle, give us this. Internet discussion about grades of molasses. Slash brown sugar slash molasses content in brown sugar. Then grades in maple syrup. Syrup from Internet Shaquille. Put this link in.
System, but decided to make it even more confusing. Now, every grade.
Oh, I feel like I'm getting second wind, which is bad. It's like, oh no, I'm not gonna sleep again.
knows the implied difference between rich taste, robust taste, and strong taste. This has got to go down in history as one of the worst rebrands of all time. If you want the taste that connoisseurs prefer, go for grade A dark, robust taste, or grade A very dark, strong taste. Oh, also pancake syrup and maple flavored syrup are not maple syrup. Those are just corn syrup with maple or butter flavors added to it.
Yeah, there you go. All right, we hit 2 hours. Let's see how. We'll at least go to break screen and we'll go for a little bit longer, I think. All right, we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I actually forgot yesterday's stream when I came back. I forgot to show off some stuff I got from Reunion. So I got this hoodie. It was actually on clearance, and they gave all the alumni an additional discount. And I was just like, dude, this hoodie looks sick. So yeah, it has like our alternate mascot logo. So like that's what it is. It's an angry bear with the C. And then this is not actually on any of our jerseys or anything. I think I was talking to my friend about it. I think it's like a shoulder patch on one of the alternate hockey jerseys. And then I have the hood up because it actually has like there's text on the back. So yeah, I really like this hoodie. I thought it was super cool looking. So that was why I got it. Totally probably didn't need it. But the material's really thin, so I guess it's really easy to layer. And I got like a slightly sized up one in case I had to layer stuff underneath. But I think my friends also said it looks like it fits like a hockey jersey. But I tried the small, and because I'm pretty short, I tried the small, and they're like, it's a little tight. Like it fits like a normal shirt. If you wanted it to fit like a sweater or something, you should size up a little bit. But yeah, it's another shiny. This is really, I haven't really worn this. I wore this like once at the reunion. The night I was gonna wear it, I found out that when I bought it, the store is about to close, and the person got really distracted because like the cashier like was talking to me about like, oh, my dad's name is Aaron, and we're just like chatting a little bit. And then when I got back to the dorm, I was gonna wear it the next day because we stayed in the dorms for reunion. I was gonna wear it the next day, and I was like, what is this rattling sound? And she forgot to undo the anti-theft device, which also 100% did not go off when I left the store. So I was like, well, I can't wear it now. So then I had to go back 2 days later and get the tag removed. But yeah. See, that's a big red bear. It's a bobble big red bear. Yeah, good old I think we were talking about Cornell's like most famous and popular culture for Andy Bernard, and I think there's like I thought one show, another show has a Cornell character, and they don't mention it specifically, and then one day he just like shows up wearing like Cornell merch, and it was just like. And it was like, yeah, the person's like not cool. The other pop culture was like, I think it's the movie like Up in the Air or something with George Clooney and oh, I forgot her name. They're two female actresses. I can see their faces. One like they're all consultants. Like one of them is in like those high school movie, like musical movies. Anna Kendrick, right? Let me see. Yeah, Anna Kendrick. So she was in it, and I forgot what the other person was. Let me see. Up in the air. Vera Farmiga? Okay, I wouldn't have guessed that name. Like, her face is super familiar, and I just kind of forgot, like, that was her name. But yeah, so they're both in that movie, and, like, I think Anna Kendrick's character plays, like, a fresh grad from Cornell, and it was just like, okay, cool. But yeah, so this is merch I got. It looks nice. I've never had one with the lace-up front thing. Neither have I. I thought I was like, wow, it'll look super different from all of my other hoodies. So yeah, I was kind of excited. And like the stripes and everything, I don't have one that looks like that either. I was a little on the fence about it because like, our school colors are not black. Like we don't have black in our school colors. It's literally just red. So I was kind of like, I can see why maybe this is on clearance because it doesn't really match our colors, but I think it looks cool. Okay, fictional Cornellians tournament. It's hot in here, so I'm gonna change out of this. Okay, I've like literally never seen this before. Let me see. I'll mention. Forgot to show off the new drip, new alum Cornell hoodie from Reunion. And then let's see, Stream Kyle, you sent this link. Since we talked about fictional Cornellians. Just like me, I'm a fictional Cornellian. Let's see. What is this Twitter link? Today's the day. Voting begins to determine the greatest fictional Cornellian. Division 1 television comedy. Wow, I didn't realize there's so many of them. No, that zoom in method didn't work. Okay, so of course Andy Bernard is the 1 seed in TV comedy. I do not know who any of these other people are. Sideshow Mel is from Cornell? What? I like kind of refuse to watch Big Bang Theory. Jake Thompson from Agent Carter? That was a good show. I liked that show. Although I didn't finish it, to be honest. Mitchell. I forgot Mitchell. Professor Frink is from Cornell? What? Tyler Hayward from WandaVision? What? Where did people find this stuff out? I don't remember these things. Like, I watched WandaVision. I don't remember a mention about Cornell. I don't remember watching Roswell. Yeah, I didn't watch Roswell. I actually haven't seen most. I haven't seen White Lotus yet. I've only seen like 2 episodes of Numbers. I don't remember Alice Harmon in Queen's Gambit, and I haven't seen Succession, although I did want to see it. And then, of course, yeah, Up in the Air, and Love Story. Yeah, that's a very famous one. I don't remember this being. I don't remember this as a part of American Pie. Like, maybe like. Man, it's been so long since I've seen that movie. I didn't remember that Irene from Me, Myself, and Irene was from... These are, like, really random choices. Oh, I have never seen Citizen Kane or Zero Dark 30. Or Any Given Sunday. These are, like... Huh. I haven't seen most of these movies. Most of these things I have not seen. Somehow the winner was Jacob Jankowski from Water for Elements. What? Where was that? The number 2 seed from Film Drama? Okay, interesting. Followed up. Maybe because it's Robert Pattinson and this poll was done in like after 2021. Oh, maybe that's why I haven't seen this, right? Because like some of the entrants in this tournament are really new, like to me, like 2021 movies or whatever, or 2023 even. So like this is like, I don't spend enough time on Twitter okay, I spend too much time on Twitter and I spend like 2 minutes every 2 days on it. But yeah, At least the movie has this wonderfully accurate depiction of the Cornell Veterinary Campus. Wait. Moral Hall? Didn't I go by there? Runner up was... I think this is Succession? I am lost. Oh, this is cool. The creator of the poll like met not Andy Bernard. Crap, Ed Helms, that's his name. From the article, why one. Here's a clue. In the Depression-era drama, Jankowski is played by Robert Pattinson. He, of course, also appeared in a little movie series called Twilight, whose fan base is notoriously ardent. That was my guess. I was like, well, the second I saw it was Robert Pattinson, I'm like, I think there's like external voting. But yeah, like if they had like BTS in here, it'd be like, oh yeah, I mean, it would have gotten like way more views. The votes would have skewed extremely differently. All right, let's stream for maybe another like 13 minutes, I think, and then I'll just go to sleep.
Which is the head size.
Poll creator said they didn't expect you to pick up non-Cornell lobby.
And I'm using bias multiples, so these are just going to apply matrix multiply with some.
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't have expected that either.
Produce a K and Q by forwarding these modules on X. So the size of this will now become B by T by 16, because that is the head size. And the same here, B by T by 16. So this being the head size. So you see here that when I forward this linear on top of my X, all the tokens in all the positions in the B by T arrangement, all of them in parallel and independently produce a key and a query. So no communication has happened yet. But the communication comes now. All the queries will dot product with all the keys. So basically what we want is...
Ann Coulter went to... Yeah. I mean, everyone knows my political leanings, but like, fuck Ann Coulter. I really hate Ann Coulter.
Now, or the affinities between these.
So on the list of like real Cornell alumni that I'm proud to discuss, I'm like, well, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I believe, went to Cornell. And then there's a few other people that I'm like, oh, okay, these people are cool. And then every once in a while, someone mentions Ann Coulter. I'm like, I actually don't accept that. Partly because like, okay, so this is really mean, but like, I think when I looked this up, like she's like very elitist about her education. And one of the things that when I was like, oh, she actually went to Cornell, I looked it up and she went to the school that like basically everyone at Cornell shits on for being like the dumbest one. So I was kind of like, yeah, I don't think she gets that privilege to say that other people are stupid, because it's just like, no, like she didn't go to one of the hard colleges. Like she's definitely not an engineer. So like maybe it says a lot about like what, yeah, I mean, we know my political leanings, but the like all these like mega right wing commentators and just how fucking stupid they are. But yeah, oh yeah, Bill Nye famously, who is also very humble about like the thing that made him very famous was he invented a design for dampening out vibrations in airplanes, and he was just like, all I did was basically saw the wavelength of the oscillation that was happening, and I just added a piece of metal so it would like cancel, the waves would cancel each other out in that piece of metal, and it made it smooth. It's like super easy way to solve that problem. It's just like, I mean, like nobody thought about it, so yeah.
Query multiplying key. But we have to be careful with, we can't matrix multiply this, we actually need to transpose K. But we have to be also careful because these are, when you have the batch dimension. So in particular, we want to transpose the last two dimensions, dimension -1 and dimension -2. So -2, -1. And so this matrix multiply now will basically do the following. B by T by 16.
Ann Coulter.
Matrix multiplies B by 16 by T to give us...
What an embarrassment to our college.
So for every...
I mean,
we're now going
every
to have
college has
key-square
someone,
matrix
right?
giving us
Like,
infinities.
I don't know
These are
how
now the way.
proud
So they're not
UPenn
zeros,
is
they're now
that
coming from this dot product between the keys and
Elon
queries.
bought a degree
So
from
this
them.
can now run. I can run this. And the weighted aggregation now is a function in a data-dependent manner between the keys and queries of these nodes. So just inspecting what happened here, the way takes on this form. And you see that before way was just a constant, so it was applied in the same way to all the batch elements. But now every single batch elements will have different sort of way, because
Oh, this is
every
cool.
single batch element contains different tokens at different positions, and so this is not data dependent. So when we look at just the 0th row, for example, in the input, these are the weights that came out. And so you can see now that they're not just exactly uniform. And in particular, as an example here for the last row, this was the 8th token. And the 8th token knows what content it has, and it knows at what position it's in. And now the 8th token, based on that, creates a query. Hey, I'm looking for this kind of stuff. I'm a vowel, I'm on the 8th position, I'm looking for any consonants at positions up to 4. And then all the nodes get to emit keys. And maybe one of the channels could be, I am a consonant, and I am in a position up to 4. And that key would have a high number in that specific channel. And that's how the query and the key, when they dot product, they can find each other and create a high affinity. And when they have a high affinity, like say, this token was pretty interesting to this 8th token. When they have a high affinity, then through the softmax, I will end up aggregating a lot of its information into my position. And so I'll get to learn a lot about it. Now, just this, we're looking at way after this has already happened. Let me erase this operation as well. So let me erase the masking and the softmax, just to show you the under the hood internals and how that works. So without the masking and the softmax, way comes out like this, right? This is the outputs of the dot products. And these are the raw outputs, and they take on values from -2 to +2, etc. So that's the raw interactions and raw affinities between all the nodes.
I'm wondering why the video is getting choppy. Like, I'm not noticing any dropped frames. Performance seems fine. But it does this every once in a while, and it's very confusing. Like, I think yesterday when we were watching, it was totally fine. And I wonder if it's just like, Chrono has to restart his computer. Joel Gertner. Who is Joel Gertner? I'm like really afraid. Is this one of Ann Coulter's friends? American professional wrestling announcer, color commentator, and manager. He's best known for his appearances with the ECW from 1995 to 2001. Oh, okay. He dropped out of Cornell in 1996. He also worked for the radio station. Okay, we would not have crossed at all. He would threaten the wrestlers and usually get beat up for his actions. He seems more like a... He seems like a self-aware comedian. Based off his wiki. Hopefully he's actually kind of an okay person. I still really want to see, like... in my area, there's like Hood Slam, I think is what it's called. Oakland. The problem is it's in Oakland, so it's like can be kind of a shit show. It's a professional wrestling, and I really want to go check this out. It's on my list of like, I really want to see it. And I keep missing any of the events and stuff. So June 7th was the last one. Like, I just want to go, right? Like, I have friends who are into professional wrestling. I'm not really into it. But also, like, I guess I've never really tried to look at it. But, like, to go and actually see it in person, I feel like that has got to be, like, a blast. So, yeah. Wait, what happened? Gathering for wrestlers who want to perform edgier acts for adults. Quickly became a popular attraction in the Bay Area. 1,000 attendees at each monthly show. Okay. I should try to find the next one. See if I can, if the tickets are cheap, maybe I'll try to go with some people. But yeah, it just sounds really cool. He was a theater kid trying to make it. I see. At heart, aren't we all?
Despite what the Florida Tourism Board has been feeding all of you ignorant people, it is I, destination and the man whose crotch
On Wiki, it said he was a heel announcer. I totally get what he's going for.
on Earth. The man who makes Minnie Mouse's panties wet. And the man who just last night helped Daisy Duck fulfill her dream as she took one for the team.
I'm afraid to know where this is going. We'll go back to finishing out our class. I'll watch that later. It seems pretty funny.
On a fifth note, I will not want to aggregate anything from this.
And I'll put that as like a real Cornellian, not alum. Real Cornellian, but dropped out. You don't even remember.
6th node, 7th node, and the 8th node.
He'd
So
call
actually
himself
we
a
use the
stud muffin and
triangular
stuff like this.
masking. So those are not allowed to communicate. And now we actually want to have a nice distribution. So we don't want to aggregate negative 0.11 of this node. That's crazy.
Actually, let me copy this over. So if I... What does he block out? Masked fill and softmax. And then we can look at it together. Yeah, so it's all messed up. Actually, let me delete this one because I don't need it. And then if we leave in the masked fill, so when it's equal to 0, it becomes minus infinity. Okay.
So instead we exponentiate and normalize. And now we get a nice distribution that sums to 1. And this is telling us now in a data-dependent manner how much of information to aggregate from any of these tokens in the past. So that's...
Oh, I didn't know
it's
Hugh
not
Lewis
zero
went to
anymore,
Cornell.
But it's calculated in this way.
That's pretty
Now,
cool.
there's one more part to a single self-attention.
Maybe
method,
that's where you're...
and that is that when we do the aggregation, we don't actually aggregate the tokens exactly.
I know
We aggregate
two
because
hockey
one more
players.
parameter, and we
Oh
call that
no.
the
Yeah,
value.
actually 2 hockey players.
So in the same way that we produced key and query, we're also going to...
Like, he's still... I don't know if he's still active. Ben Scrivens, the goalie, went to Cornell, and he was disgusting when I was there, / when he was there too. And then he, like, didn't... We went to the Frozen 4, Frozen 16 or something, and then the other team found a weakness in his glove hand that day, and it was awful. Yeah, I think it was against the RIT Tigers. And then I think... who else went? A guy who eventually went to Dallas. He played for Dallas for a little bit, but I think last year he actually had like passed away from heart failure, and he was pretty young. He was like 40. It was kind of a shock. Sawada, Raymond Sawada. Yeah, 38. Yeah, he died at 38, which is crazy. That's like next year for me. So I don't want that to happen. But yeah, he died he had a heart attack after playing rec hockey. So I watched him play back in Cornell, just like 1 or 2 games. And then it was like when I saw the news of like, oh yeah, he like also I remember Sawada because it led to a Dallas. I think he scored on his birthday, and the birthday was also his first call up playing for Dallas. And I think also he played against the Bruins, and that game resulted in me having a pretty big argument with one of my friends, who I'm not friends with anymore, it turns out, because she issued an ultimatum. And it was so dumb. Actually, I was talking about at the gym, like Boston fans and their sports fandom is like kind of nuts. Like I watched this Dallas Bruins game, and like the Bruins did a bunch of stuff that was like definitely illegal. Like Sawada ended up getting elbowed in like the back of the head on a charge in open ice, and it was like that's an illegal hit, like any way you look at it. And I was like, this refereeing was terrible all game. And my friend at the time like messaged me and was like posting on Facebook and just saying like, you don't know what you're talking about, you know, hockey's violent, you just don't get it. And she's like, I've been watching hockey for so many years and you just don't understand. And I was just like, hey, I played hockey for like 8 years. Like, I literally played hockey. So, like, definitely not the person to tell, like, the game is violent and you just don't understand. It's like, no, man, I played. I also played lacrosse. And when she was just, like, losing the argument, she DM'd me and was like, okay, we can still be friends if you just never say anything bad about Boston sports again. And I was like, okay. And then I just never talked to her after that. I was like, this is a really bad way to end a friendship. It's really stupid. And I was just like, I guess we're not really friends if you just care more about your sports team, which doesn't give a fuck about you, than like having a goddamn brain. I don't know.
We don't aggregate x. We calculate a v, which is just achieved by propagating this linear on top of x again, and then we output y multiplied by v. So v is the elements that we aggregate, or the vector that we aggregate instead of the raw x. And now, of course,
yes, it's false.
this will make it so that the output here of this single head will be 16-dimensional.
Oh, this is copy this. And this is supposed to be V.
Because that is the head size. So you can think of X as kind of like private information to this token, if you think about it that way.
Speaking of
So
Deadly
X is
Serious
kind of
Sports,
private
have you
to
heard
this
about the
token.
Netflix hot dog eating contest? Takeru Kobayashi returns to take on Joey Chestnut. I saw people talking about it, and it was kind of like, I don't know what to make out of this. I think it was out on Gadget. If like there's some scandal about it. I haven't seen it yet. Is it good?
And,
Are they Costco hot dogs? Like, how big are these hot dogs?
And now, for the purposes of this single head, here's what I'm interested in, here's what I have, and if you find me interesting, here's what I will communicate to you. And that's stored in V. And so V is the thing that gets aggregated for the purposes of this single head between the different nodes. And that's basically the self-attention mechanism. This is what it does. There are a few notes that I would like to make about attention. Number one, attention is a communication mechanism. You can really think about it as a communication mechanism where you have a number of nodes in a directed graph where basically you have edges pointed.
All right, we're past 2.5 hours, so I should go try to find someone to raid and then go get ready for bed, because I like, you can see the bags under my eyes again. I'm really tired. You don't really care about hot dog eating contests, but it is funny to you. That's how I feel too. It's just like, I think especially when it's like there's a lot of drama about it, I'm like, it's a hot dog eating contest. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's see. Who is on and ready to get raided? Software and game dev. Wait a minute. Are there more people in... Because we're in Diablo 4 earlier... I was gonna say, like, are there more people in software and game dev than Diablo 4? That can't be right, right? That can't be right, can it? Sorry. God, I could play Diablo 4 right now. I'm not going to. Let's see, who's in software and game dev? Chi-Chi Impact is doing leak code. Errand is up. I think we raided Errand. Oh, that was like way before my vacation. Okay. We're gonna raid Errand probably. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. I feel like, yeah, I feel like that's the easiest thing. Otherwise, I would probably just raid one of my friends. And one of my friends is already ended her stream, so we're not gonna raid her. Let me see who else is up. I think we're gonna raid Errand. looks like we're gonna raid Errand. Maybe Snow Excon? Probably gonna raid Errand. I think Snow Excon is gonna be just chatting for like kind of a while. I thought she was gonna be doing software and game dev. Yeah. Okay. Raiding Errand. Oh wait. Oh, sorry, I didn't see. Jam them dogs. Who is New Jank? I've never seen New Jank. Cyberspace car combat survivor in Godot. That seems cool. I think I'll save this person for later. I feel like we just talked about pro wrestlers and hot dog eating competitions. It feels like I feel less bad if it's like I'm dropping all of you off at Aaron's craziness. I don't even know what they're going to be doing. And then we'll do more serious if I can hang around and see what the person's doing. I'll save that for like New Jank. But yeah, thank you for the suggestion. Let me see. I'll also put... yeah, I think that's it. Okay, oh wait, raid message. I remembered today, or you can do... raid 3? Yeah, that's the forgot raid. Okay. So yeah. But I remembered, and I'm even I'm getting ready to copy paste it. So yeah, thank all of you for coming in today. I guess, what did we do? We played like 30 minutes of Diablo 4. It was 30 minutes, right? Then did more of the Build GPT from scratch, and then we detoured a little. We showed off my new hoodie, and I think we didn't get to finish this class, and we didn't start the next one that I was interested in doing, which is like working with vector databases, which is from deeplearning.ai and Pinecone. So I'm super interested in taking that class. But yeah, we'll get through it. Yeah, tomorrow I'll be on probably daylight stream, so it will be a photo again, and we'll do maybe a little more catching up from this weekend. But yeah, go have fun in Aaron's stream, and then I will see you tomorrow. If not, then maybe Monday, because I have to work on car stuff this weekend. All right, I'll see y'all later. Bye.